I have a message for you, the reader, but it won't make a lick of sense without context. This is a long one, strap in. I was a bartender. I made drinks with alcohol and made them taste just good enough to where patrons would give me money. I did this 40 hours a week, and there were a couple of bartenders that worked with me. Oh, how long ago that was. I left that job to go on an adventure. I adventured 120 hours a week for a few months straight. It was more backbreaking than serving beers and cocktails, but more rewarding. I did not, however, get paid for adventuring, and so decided to turn my adventures into words on paper. I sold over 500 books back then, each bestsellers and deserving of awards. I no longer desired adventuring and decided to go back to bartending. Oh, how long ago that was. Back to 40 hours and my back giving out, but by this point I was old. I was old a lot of the time now. Before I was only old sometimes. I would get glimpses whenever my back would strain or I took a particularly hard fall. But now I was permanently old. No more adventuring outward. I decided to turn inward. The more inward I went, the older I got. On March 1st, I died. The funeral was standard if we mean by celebrity standards. I did write a lot of books, remember? That fame only caught up to me after death, it seems. I was heralded as the best writer to ever live. Pshaw. I have read better books by better people who did more. And better. Who was I to think? To be told I was better somehow. To be the best. What? No way could I be the best, I thought. I arrived in the afterlife to only be greeted by a god. I had believed that there were more than one. He talked, and I listened intently. It was revealed the secrets of the universe. The fundamentals to how everything worked. Every great mystery revealed to my blank, empty head. I soaked it in. I was reborn on March 7th, the same year. I began life as a woman this time. I think I had blonde hair? I don't really remember. I worked as a chef in some rundown kitchen. I then went on to work at an office, then a higher office, and higher. I was CEO on my 56th birthday. I made a lot of changes in the world. This time they were more invisible. And oh, how long ago that was. I died not long after I retired, and I had never had children in the whole of my creation to this point. I arrived all the same, and this time I talked. I was not surprised to see him this time. I asked, and he listened. I was a dog next. This is probably my favorite life, and my only one where I was not a human. I was born in a cave, and I died in a cave. What happened in between was mostly serene and unapologetic, almost antagonistic beauty. I died by being eaten by a larger and younger animal. Reborn, you know the process by now. I died a young child, reborn, had grandchildren, reborn, was one of those grandchildren, reborn, died. The cycle continued for a very, very long time. Longer than I would like to process right now. On one cycle, I asked him why he was doing this, why it was set up this way. He responded that he thought it was the most interesting, and that death doesn't mean death. Emotional death doesn't exist, he said. Just physical. You, he said, you do not die. He pointed at my chest. He does.